It was an idea with huge rewards and equally huge risks. A plan, an advertising campaign Fazbear Entertainment never attempted before, and it all grew out of a rather terrible idea your co-worker Brian had while high on his break. Why don't we have an employee barbecue? It was stupid. Something your manager and owner of the Mega Pizzaplex would never agree to. But Brian, lad that he was, dead set on convincing your manager, Amir, on it. Amir was a businessman, thinking first of his money, then the company's money, then his stepdaughter Charlotte, and then came the other employees. But his breaking point finally came when Brian had suggested making it a photo operation. To advertise a summer special he referred to as the Freddy Fazbear Beach Bounce event, where the animatronics would be dressed accordingly. Exotic alcohol, free cocktails be served, and the price on everything with pineapple could be drastically increased and be sold as something new and special. Now that attracted your manager. So the plan for the barbecue, now repurposed as an advertising campaign on the beach, began. It started off with you and the on-duty engineer Kevin working on the animatronics. A beachside barbecue meant water, sand, and stains for the robots. So Kevin quickly repurposed old endoskeletons found within the bowels of the maintenance tunnels of the Pizzaplex. He equipped them with various rubber connectors, redesigned shell pieces with less seams, and other technical stuff that went over your head. To make them both water and sand proof. Once the endoskeletons had their new shells applied, it fell onto you to copy and paste the current memory of the animatronics into their redesigned bodies. It was a nightmare of a job, something that definitely was in your contract. After all, you were nothing more than the shift guard. Shift guard meaning that depending on the circumstances, you either did day shift or night shift. You had worked an entire day on the machines, backing up their brains into drives, shutting them down, inserting the drive into the new robots, copying that, and then turning them on. You first went with the robots who seemed to be more easy, Freddy and Chica. Roxy herself absolutely adored seeing herself twice, but Monty? He was a bit different. After you activated him inside his beach-ready robot body, he first didn't do anything, just stared at his hands. Worried, you approached him. "You alright?" He blinked, and you bit your lower lip. "Did you mess up the data transfer?"
"I'm not alright,"
he said, as he began moving his fingers. "Why? What's wrong?"
"It's weird. It's so restrictive and hard to move."
You shrugged. "That's for your own good. Otherwise you'd be filled with sand and the water will make you short-circuit. Or worse." He looked at you.
I know."
He got up on his feet and you helped him out of the protective dome.
"I hate this. This feels wrong."
The others didn't have such issues adapting to their old refurbished endoskeletons. Then his eyes fell onto his actual robot body. He made a noise similar to a shocked sigh.
"Why is he... me... what do you call this? Why am I still here? I thought you'd put it into storage."
You gulped. "Monty?" You asked, unsure what to say.
I'm sorry. I need a minute."
He sat down on a metal table that could barely support his weight.
"It's not every day I get reminded
You raised an eyebrow.
that I'm a machine, I mean. Sure, we keep saying I was programmed to say this and I was programmed to do that. But it feels more like telling people that this is how I was raised to react. Get what I mean? This just...
Make you aware of your own technical immortality or something like that? He blinked.
I'm not programmed to have an existential crisis, right? Then why am I having one?
You sighed.
What happens after today?
After today, we will copy you back onto one of these flash drives. You held up the thing that currently had all of Monty's memories and personality stored on. And then we put you back into your old body. Monty audibly gulped. It will be as if it never happened and you have some nice beach memories. Plus, if this actually works, we can do this every year from now on. Amir seemed like he really wanted to repeat this event if it actually works out. Your mind wandered to the barbecue. Kevin, as a family man, was the king of the grill. Except for you, the man reserved some salmon fillets for you. You couldn't wait.
Can I have that?
Monty pointed at the flash drive. Sure. You said and placed it into his outstretched hand. With wide eyes, he stared at it.
My entire being is on that? That is me? I can't believe it.
Now you understood why you had been tasked with copying the animatronics' consciousness. Brian would not have the necessary patience, and Kevin was too busy preparing the food. You gave the robot a reassuring smile. Come on, big guy. He looked up at you. Does the great and powerful Monty really allow himself to be taken down by a little flash drive? The robot blinked.
No, never!
He shouted. Good! You took the flash drive from him. Now get out there and do what you do best.
Destroy furniture!
He shouted victoriously, and you blinked perplexed. No? Entertain people? Be marketable? He stopped moving for a moment, his brain probably calculating a proper response.
Yes, of course. I will go out there and be the most photogenic animatronic ever.
After this, the robots were each pushed into their own truck. The insides were modeled after their Rockstar Row rooms. These trucks were normally used for band appearances outside of the Pizzaplex. You sat next to Kevin in Monty's truck until you reached the beachside 3 hours later. Your butt hurt, and you're really annoyed by Kevin's choice of music, which switched from country to really loud dubstep, and then back to country. But it beat the hotbox that was Brian's and Amir's truck. Once everyone, including the animatronics, were on the rented-out beach, Amir spoke up. His eyes red from the drive. He coughed and then clapped into his hand. Well, this is perfect, he said. The photographer will arrive within the hour. We have rented this beach out for the day. Everyone, you can now do whatever you want. Enjoy it. Everyone was looking at each other. This didn't sound like your manager. But then your eyes fell onto Brian, who was wearing shades and was grinning from ear to ear. What the hell were these two smoking?
So, will we beat SpongeBob?
Asked Freddy. What? You asked. As your coworkers began to snicker.
Well, we are at the ocean. SpongeBob lives in the ocean. At least that's what I thought. That's a cartoon, Freddy,
growled Monty.
Oh, I thought... So, No adventures under the sea?
Chica quickly took control of the situation, gently patting Freddy on the back and telling him that SpongeBob and his friends were deep underwater in a different ocean. Mostly to avoid him being made fun of, and so he wouldn't be too disappointed and sad over the rest of the day. After this little debacle, Roxy and Chica immediately began to set up the volleyball net, challenging Freddy and Monty to a match. Meanwhile, you helped your human co-workers setting up the umbrellas, and most importantly, the two grills. Everything appropriately themed after Fazbear Entertainment's properties. Finally, you were allowed to take off your uniform to reveal your beach outfit. A Roxy-themed bikini. In fact, everyone seemed to be dressed in Fazbear swimwear, with the exception of Amir's daughter, the receptionist Charlotte. She wore a beautiful white summer dress with a white sun hat. Under it, she wore a plain black swimsuit. Of course, your manager gave her special treatment, but you refused to let this ruin your mood. Plus, your Roxy bikini looked really hot on you. You felt really sexy in it. It wasn't long until the photographer arrived. You watched as the animatronics left the unfinished game. Monty seemed to be the most agitated, as by now the girls were leading by 10 points. Safe to say, the girls won this one. As the photographer began ordering the animatronics around, you joined your co-workers. The grills wouldn't be turned on until 6 p.m, so for now, there were only snacks and liquor for the people that weren't driving. So you had ample time to essentially just fuck about. A day at the beach with your co-workers was much less boring than it sounded. Eventually you decided to just lie down on a beach towel and watch the animatronics. You had wondered why it took them so long, but then you realized why. The photographer dedicated an hour for each animatronic alone, and then one more for group photos. This really must have been very expensive. But the robot seemed satisfied when the woman taking the pictures ended the shoot and walked over to Amir and the others. You meanwhile were approached by Monty. So, getting used to your body? He shook his head.
Not really. I'm used to being able to dance around. But this body... well, I must admit, due to these jagged movements of this body, I could way easier pose.
You smirked. How was the swim? Monty laughed. They did take pictures in and around the water, but the robots were way too heavy for actual swimming.
I saw you observe us. You know exactly how it was.
Well then, big guy. You said as you stood up. Is there anything else you want to do? He smiled.
Why do you focus so much on me?
You sighed. It's because of what happened in Parts and Services. I thought I broke something during the memory transfer. Plus, your machines are the reasons I have this job to begin with. I'd hate to lose it.
Here I thought you liked me.
You deadpan. Monty, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't be concerned. He stepped a little closer.
Like? Or just like?
You blushed. Monty! You exclaimed. He took a step back and raised both hands in defense.
It was a joke. Sheesh.
You gulped. I mean, you are my favorite. Monty laughed confidently. Hush, hush.
You human workers are all the same. Get told not to pick favorites, and then you all pick one regardless.
You scoffed. Oh yeah? Then who's Kevin's favorite?
Roxy.
You blinked. That made sense. How did he know? And what's Brian's favorite?
Moon?
You furrowed your brows. Why Moon?
Because whenever Moon is active, it's nap time in the daycare, and Brian can enjoy his break in peace.
So that's why the day shift guard hung around the daycare most of the time. What a slacker. Hey, that was Amir. If you want your stupid fish, get your ass over here. You looked up at the robot. Well, that's me. Quickly you got up and joined the others at the grill. After a while, when the sun kissed the horizon and everyone was well fed, you were standing at the water's edge. Your belly being way too full to risk swimming. So you just enjoyed the feeling of water caressing your feet.
So, how was your day, security guard?
Asked a voice that approached you from behind. Once again, it was Monty. Hey, what do you want now? You asked curiously.
They're packing up, but we can't find Brian and Charlotte. So until we find them, we're kinda stuck here.
You hummed in concern. But what about your battery? Monty pointed behind himself.
Freddy, Roxy, and Chica are inside. The truck's charging.
What about you? You tilted your head.
I thought about what you said with the thing that happened earlier this morning. I still feel weird, knowing all that I really am is just a little flash drive. It makes me feel less real. I guess, after you said I'm your favorite.
You were hoping I care enough to cheer you up, correct? You nodded. Sighing, you took his hand. Come on. Let's discuss this while in your truck so you can actually charge. Don't want you running out in the middle of the beach. Quietly you dragged the animatronic behind you, before pushing him into the truck. There you set him down on a chair and attached his charging cable. His outlet was located inside of a window on his back. After a quick shove, it was secured.
Good energy. Thank you, security guard.
Then you proceeded to sit down in front of him. How do you expect me to cheer you up? He shrugged. After a minute of silence, an idea came to you. Okay. How about this? He blinked in anticipation. Yes, you fit on that little flash drive, but think about it. Monty tilted his head. What you were about to say was a lie, but you desperately hoped he'd buy it. You are unique. You have years and years worth of customer data. Think of all the birthdays you attended. You have given countless children a unique and customized experience. Do you think we wouldn't copy you onto the flash drive if we wouldn't need specifically you for this job? Like, you do get honed through your experiences, right? Of course this was a lie. While yes, he had memories, that didn't mean anything. He was a machine who acted according to his programming. The only reason you were ordered to do this was simply efficiency. It was faster to copy-paste the animatronics into their older endoskeletons than to fully reinstall everything. However, Monty brooded and smiled.
That's really heartwarming.
Taking this opportunity, you got on your feet and took 2 steps forward to wrap your arms around him. Monty made a noise of discomfort.
What are you doing, security guard?
I'm showing you affection to make you understand you're valued. You strengthened your hug, and he too now wrapped his large arms around your back.
Thank you, security guard. I really needed this. I love you,
he muttered. I love you too, big guy. Then the machine pressed his snout into your shoulder. You gave off a pleased sigh. And suddenly, the truck shook. You turned around. At the open truck door stood Brian. Hey, there you are. We're still packing up. You helping? You nodded. I'll come in a minute. Monty has trouble charging. Uh-huh, was all Brian had to say to that. Again, I'll come in a minute. With a shrug, the day shift guard left. We'll turn your attention to Monty, you said. When we get back to the Pizzaplex, I will return you to your real body, okay? Tomorrow I have night shift, so we can hang out all night if you want. Monty's tail twitched excitedly.
I would really like that, security guard.